upper bracket finals. We have Suns fan here. You can call me Suns Phlegm for this cast, as we are joined by the Great Dane himself, Cinderin. Hello.
Hello. Wow, what a lead-in. What a lead-in to this series. Always love the pre-game interviews coming out from Blitz. There's always some spice there. Expecting, and it sounded like hoping for a 3-game series, and yeah, this is I love the edge that he has. He's like, yeah, we're just two boring teams playing the same stuff every time, and he's obviously just playing into what he's reading on Reddit, which is his second favorite thing to do, aside from being a coach, of course.
Yep, of course.
I think this is the type of game that the talk of the town after this game is going to be Clinks, right? It's the first pick of the entire tournament on this hero. Gaimin Gladiators pick it as their second overall hero.
Yeah, why so early? That
is my question that remains to be answered. I think part of it here is this must be a lane counter, that they consider this hero exceptionally good against Doom, that this was what they prepped. And of course, a little bit of an X factor that I have started looking for a lot when teams are picking Mirana is how can you get multiple cores that really benefit from Solar Flare. Clinks gets a ton of attack speed and damage from that Mirana, so does the Dragon Knight. So, you know the way Gaimin Gladiators usually like to peak around minute 20, it feels like Clinks is the type of hero that could do a ton with that Mirana.
Yeah, absolutely. And in terms of the Clinks, we did see this in a few patches not too long ago. I'm going to talk with a little deeper voice. I've seen it gone through the second puberty of my life for whatever reason here, probably because of your presence. As actually Boxy going to get gone on here. Celery, not able to finish the job though. But what kind of late game presence does this Clinks provide in this meta?
I don't think thinking about late game when you talk about game even makes sense.
That's true.
This is a
never
team,
even seen it.
I genuinely feel like the more I watch them draft, the less they care about scaling. It's not... Usually, honestly, in this tournament, the games that we've seen them lose is because they don't win by minute 30.
Yeah.
So that's always the timing that they're aiming for, and I'm curious to see how the Clinks plays into that. As I was saying yesterday when we were covering a game of theirs as well, is I think the way you prepare and you fight Gaimin Gladiators is that you prepare for the first 20 minutes of the game and what you're going to do there. And if you survive those 20 minutes and you know what, then you can think about what you want to do next. And I think this time around for the side of Liquid, you've got some really solid lanes and strong team fight. My main concern is, do you have enough damage? Because this is the issue that we've seen a lot of teams run into against a team like Gaimin, is you reach this 20-minute mark and they just can't kill them anymore.
Yeah.
Can Queen of Pain handle that with some pure damage? Can you handle it with just the Doom preventing Gaimin from healing? You can still put on the shields. We'll see if there's enough in the tank. And of course, potentially the highest teamfight damage output hero in the entire game right now is also on the side of Liquid with Mickey on the Windranger. But this hero is item dependent to get there. You kind of need that Gleipnir plus at least Crystallis, maybe even Daedalus, before it gets truly outrageous what damage you output. And that is not a common 20-minute inventory on that hero.
And of course, in this upper bracket, we'll be finding out what region goes on to the grand finals. Will it be EU or EU? And then in the lower bracket, EU or EU.
Yeah.
Very surprising stuff. I mean, these two teams are no strangers to each other. We have seen, I don't even know how many games, actually, but it usually is Gaimin that come on top.
Yeah, Liquid have had their number a little bit more this year than previous year, which I think is probably a little bit inspiring for them. So we have a tiny little pause here. Gives us time to think about this Treant versus Mirana situation, which they're fighting for each other over this Lotus pool. Tofu has the stun on to the Treant, so Tofu will definitely get this Lotus and then probably just leap away.
Buy that at the Dota 2 store right now. Very cheap. Is that the $5 or the $20?
That's a $5.
That's nice.
That's a good old $5.
That's good.
Hydrated. That's true. All right. So, yeah, that's exactly it. And Tofu does get the Lotus. It comes at a cost, though. He basically lost his entire health.
Celery. He's in a bit of trouble right now. This could be first blood, potentially. Boxy trying to finish the job. Around the trees he goes, though. Gets off the creep to try to block a bit. Actually gets the kill on the creep instead. And Celery into the trees. Boxy continuing to pursue, but in the cover, the tier 1 should be okay.
Nice hero placement there from Celery, just standing in that tiny little cubby there, hiding off. There was enough mana on Boxy to use both spells if he used his 8 stick charges, so maybe they could have found a kill there. But instead, now 33 on the receiving end will be okay.
Bramble will hold them back. Everybody playing with such little HP in this lane right now.
If this is the first time you watch Klinks this patch, by the way, don't be fooled. It does look like when he shoots tar bombs that he has this like huge cone. He does not. This is it's only hitting the target. 33 will be first blooded here, by the way.
And that's going to go to Dyrachyo of all heroes.
Was not accounting for the effectively blink with Death Pact there, getting on top of the Doom. So we were talking about this potential pick as a lane counter to Doom. So far, so good for Dyrachyo.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, with this current version of Klinks, how fast does it come online? Obviously, it's going to be coming online with the rest of Gaimin's very fast-paced type lineup that we've been seeing so much of. But how fast would you say, like, what item? Like, the first 2 items, let's say, he's going with.
I mean, I'm assuming Gleipnir is the choice, and then the question is, do you actually buy your shard, or is that the second one? My frame of reference for this hero is a little bit lacking, because we haven't had a single game of it all tournament, so, you know, sometimes you see the pub builds, but that's not actively what works in Pro. Okay, nice pressure there onto Nisha from Quinn. Gonna force him back all the way between the towers. Now, Quinn's in a little bit of a compromised position, but nobody's coming in inside of Liquid. He's just running him down here. It's gonna force another blink.
Wow.
Really bullying Nisha here.
Actually go back to base, too.
He's losing a full wave in his own tower.
Yeah,
that is
really
a
bad.
major loss. Quinn will be hitting level 6 quite much earlier as a result. We'll see if he can keep putting some pressure onto that tower with that. Of course, the dragon form. Quinn has opted for the Fire Dragon facet. I think it's the only one we've seen all tournament, bar 1 game of Green Dragon, dare I say.
Really? I don't remember that one.
And the reason I checked is if you're getting anyone faster than the red one, it's because you're playing mid and you're playing pace.
Or you misclicked.
Or you misclicked, of course. That may have happened once or twice this tournament. Sometimes you even forget to pick your facet.
That's right.
But
They would never admit it, though.
Big damage. We'll be okay, though.
Yep, this lane, Mickey sitting on 30 and 5 CS. And, I mean, Ace is also just having a great time this early game. That is one of the scariest propositions for Liquid, trying to shut down this Underlord. Quinn in his Dragon form. It's the Dragon Tail off, continuing to harass the absolute living crap out of Nisha.
It's all down to 3rd health again, and this is perfect timing for Gaimin. So they have Siege Creep, Chen is coming in with 2 additional creeps, they have Tofu flanking from the right, and Quinn will keep tanking this tower as much as he can to keep the Siege Creep alive, just barely staying on the outskirts here of the radius. Needs to go in and take a hit here, we will. Liquid kind of have to respond to this. I feel like you can't just sacrifice this tower minute 6. They'll glyph for now. Let's see if the rotations are coming. Gaimin are keeping tabs on the support rotations here. 2 shard golems here able to throw out a couple stones onto Boxy.
Yep.
But
they'll finally kill off the Siege here, but yeah, half HP tower, and they use the Fort. As Mickey already making a quick rotation to the top lane. Dyrachyo completely out of mana. You're going to see the Leech Seed on top of him as well. Pops the wand, but Shaq actually does not connect. Either way, uses the Death Pact blink to get out of arm's length, but it doesn't matter. Mickey finds him in the end. And meanwhile, mid lane,
they
Quinn
got
takes out Nisha.
Yeah, that Dragon Tail arrow combo. A tail as old as time will get Gaimin Gladiators effectively an even trade, I suppose. I mean, Klinks was the top net worth in the game, so I assume Liquid are somewhat okay with that. But going back to what we were talking about Gaimin Gladiators pacing in this game, if Queen of Pain has a bad start, I really worry for their ability to stop the ball when it's coming in 15, 20 minutes. I think Nisha has a very important role to play that is largely down to a good Dagon timing and level 12. He really needs to get Sonic Wave up and running. So yeah.
Well, 33, one of the few players in this tournament center that has been able to find some success on this hero. A horrific win rate overall. Yeah,
it was funny how Doom did okay in the start. Then we got to playoffs, and he lost 8 games in a row. And then he started winning again. So it's like teams didn't give up on it. They made some adjustments. They figured out what to do to cover its weaknesses and how to play around it. And now in the later stage of the tournament, we've seen Doom doing quite a lot better. Dust onto Dyrachyo. He's also doomed.
Yeah, mildly inconvenienced, though, as the TP comes in. Quinn not able to save his comrade, as the Dark Rift is there from Ace, and 33 still pretty damn healthy. Pit of Malice applied to him into the Dragon Tail, so it's going to be a double root. As he is now surrounded, although Insania is in the area, Celery flanking them from behind, and the Bramble is going to put this chase to an end. So they do get the position 1 from Liquid's Eye.
it really helps a lot for the Doom to make these plays that he has the level 2 living armor at his disposal out of Insania. We've seen some games with Treant where the players aren't really opting for much focus on living armor early on in the draft, or early in the game, I should say. But in this strategy, it's very clear that this is Liquid's approach to not only defending their towers, but also enabling their heroes to go that little bit deeper. Bottom lane Ace.
Shackle. You got the whirlwind effect as well. Dyrachyo makes his way over, though. The Pit of Malice onto 2 as Nisha gets a sonic wave off, destroys Ace. And Dyrachyo will have to try to flank here. Try to get away in that skeleton walk.
That should be okay.
Looks to be fine.
So you got to say, so far so good for the side of Liquid. Many teams at this point, in some of the stompy games we've seen from Gaimin, with the type of lineup they're running here, this could have already, against other teams, been a 3K lead with 2 or 3 towers down.
I mean, is there a team that has played Gaimin more than Liquid in the last year?
Good question. They will lose their first one here, though. Quinn does manage to break through the living armor on the mid-tier 1. Quinn is eyeing up a fast blink. So we've been talking about potential damage issues for Liquid. What if we look at the other side? So Dragon Knight, not the highest damage output hero. Clinks will be going for the Deso first on Dyrachyo. I guess Solar Flare is always going to provide you with damage. Uh-oh, Tofu.
Yep, he looks to be likely, although he's actually going to be able to leap away. Nisha's the one in a lot of trouble. Dyrachyo actually gets the last hit there.
Do they have
Nice
detection
gank.
now for Boxy?
Boxy picks up the invis, blood grenade applied.
They have a sentry. Tofu.
Yep, puts down another one, and that's going to be the death of the support. So 2 quick kills for Gaimin Gladiators. A very back and forth affair so far in this game number 1.
And now the Queen of Pain and the Underlord neck and neck on net with again. So clear tiering here. 4 cores well ahead of the rest. I think for Gaimin, if they could choose for this to be the game state on those net worths specifically, I think they're happy to let Ace have a little bit of a slower start at the expense of the Quap.
And 33 here. Looking for his second Doom of the game. But not sure what he wants to go for here, Cinder. And typically you see the Midas at some point, but we'll be going for the Crimson, knowing that Gaimin are going to be pushing really hard.
Yeah, I wonder what he's doing next. Is this a dagger game? Maybe not. You have some somewhat reliable setups with the Brambles, with the Overgrowth potentially coming in from Insania from the tree line. However, I think it's going to be so important for Liquid to Doom the Clinks in particular that he might have to get it. Since that is going to be the deciding factor in the fights.
We have the Dragon Tail opening. Nice gank as Mickey is killed immediately.
Yeah, Ace didn't even need to show up for that. They have so much damage just between their Mirana and DK, and that was without even having Solar Flare.
Yeah, Dyrachyo has the Desolator, so these buildings will melt. Tier 1 bot will be forted, but will only delay the inevitable, as this will go the Gaimin way. The question is, will that be reciprocated in the top lane?
Yeah, definitely. If you're the side of Liquid, you want to try to equalize the towers, open up somewhere else so that you don't fall too far behind in this first 20 minutes. The very classic Gaimin style is coming into effect. As we said earlier, not the stompiest early game they've had, but they still should be quite comfortable with the position they're in. Liquid will get that tower trade now, going away of 33, so that's a Crimson Guard complete in 300 gold. Uh-oh, not again. Mickey walks into an arrow.
The arrow hits. Do they have the damage? Centaur Stomp to follow. He's going to get the winner off along with the Whirlwind. Insania is there for some moral support. Gets off the Overgrowth, but it's not enough. Mickey falls again.
Yeah, Celery
Big
attacking
kill
there for 135 damage on Chen. I wonder why that is. Maybe Mirana pressed her ult, and then even though she was Overgrowth, doesn't matter. Celery will just finish the kill with a nasty right-click from Chen of all heroes. And yep, that is another big kill onto the Wood Ranger. This is a hero that is able to open up the fights against Gaimin later down the line. We talked about those 2 damage items really getting there, but these 2 deaths back-to-back slows down Gleipnir significantly.
Yep, Quinn going through the gate. He's going to meet 33. Dyrachyo was hounding him all the way. Already at half HP, trying to run away, but the question is, will he? Nice blink from Quinn. Has to stop in a few seconds is Dyrachyo. Okay, the Crimson Guard's going to buy him a little bit of time. It's going to be close, though. A couple more right clicks will suffice. Still has a lot of move speed. Another phase boots activation as meanwhile Ace and Tofu die in the bot lane. And 33 finding a lot of distance here, attempting the TP. Looks like he's out of there. Wow, really tanky.
That is such a crucial escape. Not only does he not die, but the amount of time that Gaimin just waste on two of their cores creates tons of space down bottom to win that fight for Liquid, with Nisha and Mickey getting a kill each. And that will bring Mickey back in a comfortable position now in second on that net worth.
And Liquid
Double
gets
wisdom.
Both wisdoms at the 14 minute. We've seen this time and time again, either the 7 or the 14, having huge impact. So Liquid definitely not falling behind like we've seen so many times against this Gaimin Gladiators lineup. Okay, let's do a thought experiment.
Okay.
Somehow this game goes late. Who has the better lineup?
I would say absolutely Radiant for me.
Radiant?
Yeah, I think so. I think the support... Oh, hang on, Insania.
Yeah,
let's do a
dead.
thought experiment. Where will he respawn in 30 seconds?
It's a very philosophical question.
Yeah, that is...
Dragon Tail from Quinn. No follow-up, though. And the Dagon just to get some nice HP back for Nisha. He's level 11 now.
So, the reason I think the Radiant lineup is so strong later in the game is that this Wind Ranger carry, we've seen many games where it just absolutely obliterates late game, and you're playing it together with two insane AoE support controllers, which is exactly what she wants to work with late in the game. You've got Overgrowth, you've got Terrorize. On top of that, Doom is one of the ultimate late gamers. So even if Gaimin Gladiators get really farmed on multiple heroes, they might still just get doomed on 2 cores.
Oh my god, he put him back into the pit, but I don't think there's going to be much follow-up here. Whirlwind to deal with some of these creeps. Mickey's fine. Very close to a kill, though for Gaimin. That would have been really crippling for the Windrunner. Top 2 net worth despite having these 2 deaths for Mickey.
Yep.
As Quinn's going to be found by Nisha and Insania, slowed to a crawl. Dark Crypt is coming. 33's there as well. Gets off the Doom onto the Dragon. I know regen for you. Sonic Wave to follow. Looks like Quinn is likely going to fall no matter what. Now Ace trying to tank up as much as possible. A nice pit. He's going to get Curse Crown, though, onto the high ground. He should survive. Either way, Gaimin lose Celery on top of the original.
Daracho
Okay,
is...
Daracho in the middle of nowhere, as usual. Will be dusted, using the jetpack to try to get away, but it's not going to be. 3 dead for Gaimin, and Liquid coming out on top big time.
Yeah, this is the most important part of the game for the side of Liquid, and they're delivering. Just winning these fights handily. This isn't... Honestly, these fights aren't even really that close. The moment the Doom comes out on the Dragon Knight, Quinn can't stand his ground. He's not getting healed by the Chen, and they just step by step poke them down with all of their spells. It feels like Gaimin Gladiators need to get some sort of pipe up and running to block a lot of this damage from the Wind Ranger, from the Doom, and from the Willow.
Yeah, this was just a really awkward fight for Gaimin. And the Sonic Waves so far from Nisha have been on point. So for Gaimin Gladiators, Cinderin, if you're behind, I mean, have we seen them behind at this stage of the game?
Not in this stage of the tournament. I think this is the first time it's fair to... Okay,
Dragon Tail into Arrow. This should be a freebie.
Yeah, it will be. At this stage of the tournament, we haven't seen them challenge this much in the first 20 minutes. So this is already a very good look for Team Liquid. Talked about the scalability of their lineup and the way Gaimin usually win their games, and how sometimes it can seem like Gaimin are losing their way when they're 25 minutes and then things aren't going according to plan. And I want to say that's not because they don't know what to do. It's because the way they tailor their lineups and the way they strategize is very much built around this stage of the game being a success, which it almost always is.
Nisha. Arrow's going to hit inside the Pit of Malice, so another root will come. Do they have the damage to finish the job? Dragon Tail as well? No. Nisha blinks out.
That is a kill with Solar Flare, but it was on cooldown for Tofu.
Actually true. That is true.
Yeah.
Crazy
They will
spell.
force him back, and they will immediately look for something else here. So, full smoke up. Side of Liquid are grouped up and trying to connect, but 33, if they found him here, that would be big.
Yeah, he's a very tanky boy. He blinks just in time. Quick fingers for 33.
This is huge, because this was potentially a Roche kill, actually. If they take out the Doom there, he wouldn't have had buyback. and they could have 5v4'd the Roche, so another good dodge.
Dyrachyo dodging the dust as the smoke was popped, but Liquid just going to be happy with the ward expedition here. And Ace has his Greaves. We'll be going for the Pipe of Insight next. Liquid look like they're looking for a fight. Not afraid right now. Gleipnir for Mickey. BKB looks to be next.
I think whenever they have Doom ready, they're not necessarily favored in a fight, but if they get the fight on their terms, they're absolutely capable of killing off any hero of their choice and then building it around that. Tofu will get the leap off in time, so won't get shackled here against that Gleipnir. So another gank dodged, one from either side. Now, will Liquid force this? Will they just go straight into the tower? And what will Gaimin do? Dyrachyo has no mana. Running around the mid area of the map, doesn't really have much to offer, and looks like Gaimin Gladiators are just full-on forfeiting this tower. So Liquid will grab that, and Insania, realizing that's what's happening, is already setting up for the counterplay because he's anticipating that Gaimin want to trade down bot. And if there are enough heroes set up for this,
Dyrachyo gets hit by the Gleipnir. Whirlwind to fall, doing a lot of damage to the creeps, but not so much the Clinks. And 33 finally jumps in, gets off the Doom just to ensure that the Clinks does die. But Quinn coming in with the Dragon Tail into the arrow. Is it going to be enough damage to take out Mickey? It's going to be close. Yes. It's a 1-for-1 for the carries on each respective team. Big Terrorize coming out from the Dark Willow, though, as Quinn continuing to right-click on a 33, doing barely any damage. The Doom's so tanky at this stage of the game, as Insania is stuck in a horrible place. He gets evaporated. Nisha gets off the Sonic Wave, deletes Tofu in turn. So 2 for 2.
Nisha's free to move around here.
Got the Shadow Realm away. Ace and company looking like they might soft back here. Nisha very low on mana, as Quinn apparently wants to continue on, gets the Dragon Tail. Again, 33. They are tickling at this stage of the game. Firestorm is a good opportunity to do some damage to him, though, inside that Pit of Malice as well. He pops the Crimson Guard, though. The Curse Crown's going to eventually activate. The Bedlam not going to be enough, as Boxy is finally brought down by Quinn. So in the end, a 3 for 2 favor Gaimin.
Yeah, and Liquid get the hell out of there because Ace is bringing in Dyrachyo through the gate. So, a decent outcome, you have to say, there for Gaimin Gladiators, especially if they end up claiming the tower as their grand prize. And yeah, well, with this amount of rally units, it's only a matter of time before this tower says bye-bye. Alright, down it goes. Still, Roshan is up, has been up the whole game. Neither team has claimed it just yet, and it has to become a point of contention now with multiple towers now down, and with the position Gaimin Gladiators have on the map and the knowledge that Doom and Sonic Wave are down. I think this is just a total freebie. Liquid should be, even if they were in position to smoke for this right now, I think they would just make the call against it. The risk-reward just doesn't seem good enough. So Gaimin pick up some steam here. They pick up the Aegis. And I'm assuming probably putting it on Dyrachyo so he can play very aggressive. Dragon Knight as a transformation hero. All right, he is the choice. I mean, this is a hero that we sometimes see people put it on, sometimes they don't, because the second life isn't as good as the first. However, the way Liquid have approached the fight so far in the game, they've really focused on dooming Quinn when they can.
Yeah, true.
This dissuades 33 from going for that play.
So what you're saying is Dyrachyo screwed.
He might just be able to play the fights completely differently now that there's an Aegis in play, because now he can be more patient. Quinn can go in, create vision in the fight.
Did you say Dyrachyo be patient?
He can be more patient, which is waiting 1 second instead of 0.
I see. Okay, gotcha.
But it's a good point. Unlikely to happen.
Tofu will get his
shard for the Mirana.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Really happy about that. Let's see what he pivots to now, because he was ready to buy it just now. Now, Tofu has a choice to make. As Fear pointed out on the panel, we've seen games where Gaimin Gladiators are playing this Chen Underlord that Tofu will just go BKB into carry items. Wouldn't mind seeing that here, honestly. And that's not because, okay, Gaimin will plan for... Oh, hang on. All right. Everybody dodges everybody. Never mind. There's a Gleipnir.
Yep, except for Tofu. Does get one leap off, but... And the Hand of God.
Wow, actually Hand of God.
Yeah, that is one important ult down now.
That was a completely hopeless situation. He had 0 leaps left. He was never getting out of that one. But...
33, Doom initiation. Nisha gonna Shadow Strike to slow this Underlord to a crawl. This is eventually gonna be the kill, going the way of Liquid.
Yep.
So Liquid really on top of things in this game number 1. And the Gleipnir now with the Whirlwind to follow. Mickey with the help of Boxy will take out Celery as well. So 3 dead.
Damn, they're just bleeding out. They have the Aegis, they have the advantage, and Liquid are just picking them apart one by one and across multiple lanes. They'll now get the bottom tier 1 and the mid tier 2. Talk about a power play with a disadvantage. This was not what I think many people would have expected in this game state. When Gaimin gets the Aegis, usually they're the ones deciding how things go down.
Dyrachyo.
Okay, big damage.
Gotta be careful. And 33 just tanking up this tier 2 tower. There is now TP coming in. Remember, Quinn has the Aegis still. In his dragon form, another blink away. Tofu, is he actually gonna die just to Boxy? Yes, wow. That is unreal. He's gonna fake out the Terrorize, run away. The Pit of Malice already on cooldown.
So many things going right for Liquid. I was gonna say, they gotta be a little bit careful with the TP reinforcements with Doom on cooldown and the numbers being able to be brought there from Gaimin, but they're just too fast. They're killing the heroes before Gaimin get to group up, which is what they've been so good at for so long, is getting that formation going and setting the terms of the fight. If you break them off too quickly on the side of Liquid, then it doesn't really matter. Then they don't get to that point.
Yeah, 4K lead here for Liquid, and this Aegis just seems to be doing absolutely nothing for Gaimin Gladiators, at least not yet. Still have time to try to make use of it, of course, as Mickey has the 9-second BKB, and Dyrachyo going for an MKB, it seems. He's going to have a lot of right-click damage.
Let's see what Gaimin want to do now. Still a minute and a half on that Aegis. Do they have any smokes? They do. So they have a smoke available on... Okay, they have 2 smokes, actually. They're going to pop one now and try to find a moment of opportunity. I think the ideal fight for them is catching a core around the mid area and then turn that into a tier 2. High ground seems a little bit like a pipe dream right now, but I say that and it's Gaimin Gladiators, so probably not. But yeah, we are approaching the part of the game where they usually win. So
very even though, according to Dota Plus. Dust not going to connect. And Gaimin trying to make use of his Aegis as they're grouping up. And Liquid, I would assume, will try to just lay until around the expiration date of said Aegis. Nisha getting pretty close to the Aghanim Scepter, just 800 away.
Yeah, so smoke move unsuccessful. They do place down a very nice aggressive ward in that bottom half of the map. They actually, as a matter of fact, have 2 down there, so if Liquid were to go down there and farm, get a good punish, they'll try 33.
Dragon Tail, arrows coming for him as well. Do they have the damage to actually rip through him? The big Terrorize, though, to try to counteract this. Mickey with the BKB and the Whirlwind as well. The Doom applied to the Underlord, trying to run away. Mickey's the one getting deleted, though, has to be really careful. Will eventually back away, just barely living, as Nisha gets off a Sonic Wave onto 2, already deleted to start this fight out. Overgoat's going to hold him in place for Nisha, try and reset. Dyrachyo kind of stuck in no man's land, will use his ability to be able to blink away, but not far enough, it seems, trying to take out Mickey. The very edge of this fight, he finally gets taken out by Quinn, but it's going to cost Dyrachyo his life. It's a 2 for 2. That's 2 cores for Gaimin Gladiators down.
Yeah, Gaimin will try to pursue, though.
Yep, Quinn continuing on. The arrow is going to hit thanks to the Dragon Tail as well. Boxy coming in with the Bedlam, trying to tank up as much damage as he can. Nisha getting off the Shivas is Celery attempting to run away. They're going to lose Boxy, though, on the Liquid side. Nisha very low on mana, but he's going to continue to pursue as Celery falls. They are using so many resources.
These fights are so
close.
Insanely close.
Oh! No! The Aghanim Scepter puts the end to Tofu.
Wait, was that Quinn actually killing him? Did I see that right? Did that one come from the Dragon Knight, or was it from Mirana herself?
I'll have to see it again.
I think Quinn actually killed him. He did not realize that the Shadow Strike on himself was expiring with that Ags.
Ultimate toxicity from Quinn.
Yeah. He wants a better Solar Flare is what he's trying to say. You get an upgraded version. I'm not sure if that one was from the DK, but it did look like it. It can be a bit difficult to tell sometimes, but nice little extra kill for Nisha.
We'll watch it again here.
I mean, what an insanely long fight this was.
Yeah, a really good Terrorize as well from Boxy. Basically resetting things completely. And I don't know how Mickey lived so long in this engagement.
So the way Mickey is playing this fight is kind of interesting. He walks in with BKB and Whirlwind, and he's waiting to wind run until he's on 20%. He had it ready the whole time. So he's tanking up whatever damage he can, knowing that when he wind runs, he's more or less invincible against the Dire lineup. So he's kind of baiting them to spend as many resources as possible that amount to nothing. This is going to become dangerous when Klinks gets some True Strike, though. And we're not far off that MKB, which could completely change the course of this game when Duracho gets it.
This fight was still, it was this long, apparently.
Oh, look what Mickey has.
So there's the Shadow Strike with the Agnum Scepter. Let's see. As Celery falls here. And eventually, okay, so Tofu's the one that's Shadow Struck right now. Quinn, I don't think he is. Or is he? Oh, yeah, you're right.
He is. Oh, that's the stuff.
Uh-oh. Duracho. Ooh. Nice. Pit of Malice from Ace to disengage here. Although he's stuck in place thanks to the Gale Force. And Gaimin Gladiators trying to disengage now. That's going to make a great GIF, by the way.
That is so good, man. Aw.
Make that into a meme immediately, please. Thank you.
So good, man. You gotta, I mean, Quinn is just good at reaction faces in general. Yeah. So when you get a moment like that, that's the player you want it to happen to. It's awesome. Oh, man. What do you make of Wind Ranger? I think, is this the first time we see Revenant's Brooch queued up on this hero? I feel like this is not a build that has been common at all here.
That's cool.
So just to remind everyone how this item works, since I don't think I've seen it a single game this tournament, it gives you damage and spell lifesteal, and then you can toggle it on to make your attacks cost more mana, but they deal magic damage and they can hit ethereal units but not crit. So he hasn't gone for the Daedalus, so maybe he won't at all, and he's trying to kill the enemy heroes through magic damage rather than physical, knowing that he's against Dragon Knight, knowing that he's against Chen, Divine Favor. Interesting option here. I feel like this item is very hit or miss.
Yeah, it sounds like we have a listen in right here. Let's take a listen.
Not too bad, guys. This game better than this game. This fight's so good. Holy shit!
There we go.
I have no idea what he just said, but that would probably make a good voice line.
Which is always worth a listen in, of course. Yeah, that's how you too, as a Twitch chatter, can be top 3 at TI.
Oh yeah.
This is how comms are during high-stakes games playing for 7 digits. You know, it's interesting, isn't it? They're just humans like the rest of us, except in Dota they're kind of godlike. But you know,
they can be subhuman at times as well, of course, as can we all.
Yep.
7K lead here for Liquid. Rosh is spawning in less than 10 seconds, and we're going to have a good old-fashioned Rosh off. And who fights better in this area, would you say? Is Arrow will find Rosh. He's not going to be too happy about that. But who would you say has advantage in this area in terms of team fight?
Oh, it's so hard to say. Honestly, with how close these fights have been so far, it really depends on who gets the right angle. Both teams have tons of potential. A really good pit can cause a devastating opener for the side of Gaimin. On the other side, Overgrowth, Terrorize, really big spells. Even a Key Shackle Shot, which is a spell I feel like we've barely seen this game.
Oh, Nisha on the cliff. He gets some vision, but they have vision as well. Whirlwind doing a lot of damage. Ace trying to get the hell out of there, but the damage is applied to Mickey. The Doom onto the Dragon Knight. 33 is the one actually being evaporated despite being the tankiest hero in this game. But Gaimin Gladiator, they lose Quinn. In trade is the Doom. It's already a 4-for-1, and only Duracho living through the day. Looks like he'll eventually be fine. But this fight not going the way that Gaimin were thinking initially.
There's just, that's what I mean about reaching the stage of the game for the Radiant lineup. When they get these items online and they get the right angle, look at that damage from Nisha on the Queen of Pain. 8,700, and this feels like it was in 5 seconds. Just ridiculous output from that Quap. I wonder how many people he hit with the Sonic. It's ridiculous damage. And of course, the Shiva's Guard also playing a part in these fights. It's preventing Gaimin from getting that regeneration and the healing in. This will now result in an Aegis pickup for the side of Liquid, now in a very comfortable position. And now the big question is, what do Gaimin do? Because plan A has now officially failed. How does Klinks become a late game monster?
Look at this.
The Solar Flare is always going to be an X factor in the late game if Mirana gets there, but Tofu is... We haven't really talked about that so much. He's really poor this game. He was bottom net worth just a moment ago on that Mirana. So the BKB isn't even close to finished, and we're 34 minutes in. He has no items.
Yeah, that's not something we've seen very much at this tournament.
6 deaths to his name, only 41 CS minute 34, has very much been given everything to his teammates, but might come back to bite him that he's been this selfless. When you get to this game state, you wish that you had that additional damage dealer when Dragon Knight is seemingly getting doomed literally every fight. And Quinn doesn't seem to want to itemize against the Doom either. We're not seeing any Lincolns pick up, we're not seeing the team trying to cover for him much in any way. I suppose his Pike is somewhat of a pseudo-solution some of the time, but not quite cutting it.
Well, we're not too far away from the Revenant's Brooch, which, like you said, might be the first purchase the entire tournament. I feel like this item has not been a thing for quite a while since they changed the fact that you can't crit with it, right? That was the old Rebuke strat or PA strat.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun for a couple weeks that it was relevant.
Yeah, for the people that used it, everybody else hated it. That's Dota in a nutshell, though. Tormentor will go the way of Celery, so he now gets the Whole Persuasion upgrade. So now can take an Ancient Creep based on level of Hand of God, so he can take 2 Ancients. I think you definitely want to get an Ancient Granite Golem here. It really feels like a matter of getting enough health on your team.
Yeah.
The armor from the Black Dragon, maybe not as important. Given that the Doracho, or excuse me, Mickey is completing the brooch. Wonder if they think he is, though. They've only seen the Sacred Relic, so they might not even think he's going this path.
Yeah, true.
Could just as well have been a Nullifier buildup, or Radiance if this was 10,000 MMR lower than it is, or maybe 12,000 lower. Yeah, got to get used to that. Now high MMR is actually 15k from what I've been told.
Wow.
So
just keeps going. So there it is. Revenant's Brooch. We'll see how effective it is.
Needs to remember to toggle it. This is one of those things where, you know, you haven't really used this item very much, probably, as a player in the last bit of time. Gotta keep that. It's like an extra mental note you need to keep in check, and these fights are very fast and very chaotic. Nisha pushing out the wave. He has Aegis, so risk reward here. Okay.
Oh, they're actually going to try to jump Quinn, but he finds the distance. Although Thirdig's going in really deep against the Doom and the Sonic Wave onto this Dragon Knight. Quinn is dead. Does not have the buyback whatsoever, as Mickey taking a decent brunt of the damage, but Ace, he's taken out in his own base as
Mickey!
well.
Oh, the last
Mickey
tower
eventually
shot!
falls. 80 seconds of no winner. That's actually so big.
If he doesn't die there, they could probably continue this push. I don't know if they can now.
Yeah.
Maybe they still can. I mean, Nisha has 2 lives, and he is the strongest hero in the game, arguably.
Yeah, a minute and a half on this Aegis. But no DK, no Underlord. Pretty huge for your defense here if you're Gaimin. As Nisha's going to jump in. Look at the damage onto the Chen, but the arrow is going to connect. Again, there's 2 lives on this Quap. Terrorize comes out as Nisha wants to finish the job. Godlike for him. Deletes Celery. The building's, though, not going down quite as fast, Cinderin.
Yeah, their lineup is not good at pushing, just flat out. Even if Mickey, I mean, if Mickey's alive, they're obviously much better, but doesn't have focus fire, of course.
So they get the tier 3, and will reposition. Another minute on this Aegis.
This might be all they get, but it's, I say that.
It's still big.
It's a lot. They got a lot out of that. This does open the avenue for Gaimin Gladiators of potentially focusing Nisha in the next fight, but he has just shown such incredible resilience in the fights. He's a really tough kill. He's got 3,400 health, about 50 armor when he gets... He has 50 armor on Quap when he gets living armor. I had to do a double take on that. I can't believe I'm saying that out loud, that Quap has that much armor. That's
so what you're saying is Klinks needs a Revenant's Brooch as well.
I think the Daedalus is probably the right choice that he's going for. Yeah, this is just not what you're used to seeing in the past from Queen of Pain, right? He's just so stupidly tanky when he gets that living armor put on him. He will swap out his Craggy Coat for Ascetic's Cap, so he's losing some armor now, but still, he is ridiculously tanky, and you better 100 to 0 him, because you know if you don't, he's going to heal up
Yeah.
With that spell lifesteal from the Dagon, from the Ags, from the Sonic Wave, it's a ton of healing, which effectively turns your damage to dust. So, gotta make sure. And that's a problem here, right? The Gaimin actually have that amount of damage to begin with.
Right. Oh boy.
Nisha finds
Shiva's
Quinn.
power shot gives a little bit of vision. 33 in company will find Quinn in the trees. Sonic Wave expended just to make sure that he dies.
It's a 25-second cooldown. He can use this for anything he wants on Nisha.
So Quinn does have buyback, but we'll have to sit things out for 70 seconds if he doesn't want to use it. And of course, the Aegis, like you said, is already expired. So from Liquid's perspective, Cinderin, wait for the next Roche or some other plan?
I think so. I don't think you're under any sort of pressure at this point to, you should probably feel comfortable that you have this one if this keeps on going for another 10 to 15 minutes. It's the enemy team that has to make the moves. So as long as you map control, push out the waves, control the right areas, and prepare for that Roche, I think everything is going just according to plan. So we're hearing more and more Let's Go Liquids and more cheers. There are fans in the crowd here that have been waiting for this for 3 years for Liquid to finally beat Gaimin Gladiators in a singular game. And this might just be the one. Yep, they've definitely been better against them this year, and they're showing it this game too.
Yep, they certainly have done their homework. Another tier 3 dead. The Mickey and company going to focus on the racks now. Quinn up in 10 seconds. Gaimin desperately needing to hold this. Might have to give up this melee though. It's going to refresh the fortification though.
Yeah, no reason.
And with that, Liquid will back away.
Yep.
And
nice,
we won't know about Roche for another minute and a half. But yeah, this is getting very scary for Gaimin.
That's a great grab.
Yeah, absolutely.
Time to, as you said, we will know in a minute and 15. The teams obviously will not. So the potential respawn is over the course of the next 4 minutes. And as long as you cover the map well and keep pushing out, it feels like Gaimin are approaching the type of late game where it's like, all right, now they are the ones who have to go for what every team faces against them. It seemingly is that last Hail Mary fight when you're starting to be in a really crippling position. But I do feel like they want to wait for the last item on Dyrachyo. I feel like if he can get this data list, that's when they want to go all in. So despite actually being in a spot on the map and having okay-ish waves to go for a smoke, I think they'll decide against it specifically to get that one item up in him. Tofu is solo smoked. Oh, it's Ninja Gear. Okay, never mind.
Yep, best neutral in the game still, 2024.
Yeah, it's been tier 1 for as long as Gaimin Gladiators have, it seems like.
Yeah, it's connected, I'm sure.
Nah, most of their games are over before it can drop.
That's true, actually, yeah.
Not this one. Trickster Cloak picked up by Celery, so a little more defensive line for him. The Ancient Guardian on Dyrachyo could become important because... Oh, hang on, he gets dusted. Can they reach?
33 trying to go for him. Oh, the BKB comes out from Dyrachyo. Pitamalis to prevent any further pursuit.
Well,
although Nisha wants to continue, Sonic Wave applied to only 2. And Quinn will pop the Dragon Form. Nisha going in really deep. He's going to get Dragon Tail. He's going to get 100 to 0 dead. Does have his buyback, though. You can see the Clinks finally goes down, though. Dyrachyo just melts. Buyback comes out immediately from Nisha. Mickey with the big whirlwind doing so much damage. Tofu will TP out, though, as 33 eventually will drop to Quinn. Surely blinks away to ensure the kill. So it's a 3 for 2, I believe, with a buyback coming out from Nisha.
Nisha knows that if he were to get killed there, they have to drop absolutely everything on him, and he can buyback TP, so he will rejoin that fight. But honestly, I still think that was okay-ish for Gaimin Gladiators. Yeah, they lose 2 cores of their own, but they find a big kill. Dyrachyo now has enough gold for his item. I don't think this is going to turn into a potential Rax push. Maybe if you have to buyback the Underlord, then I guess it looks even better for Liquid. But they're not going to buyback their own Doom, I think.
Yep, Quinn, Gale Force being really annoying.
They're not glyphing yet. All right,
finally comes out.
But there's the banner. So the glyph not going to do anything.
That's right.
And they are not buying back their Underlord. They're going to concede the tower. Dyrachyo has completed his item.
Concede more than this if they're not careful. Focus now onto the melee. Underlord up in 15, Clinks in 25. Like you said, the buyback is still there for Ace, but they will give up another barracks. So 2 melees dead. The range actually goes down in the top lane right now to the creeps alone.
So 1 lane remaining here.
Basically, yeah.
For the side of Gaimin. Yeah, okay. And 100 HP on a range tracks, which is 1 little poke from any of the farmed heroes. Octarine Core on the Willow.
Wow.
All right. Well, Boxy has got some stuff going this game.
Yeah.
And Nisha hits level 25. So let's see what talent he takes here. He could take 250 Sonic Wave damage, or he could take the minus 2 second Blink cooldown. Both are incredible talents when you have the Octarine build. As we've established already, the Sonic Wave has a cooldown of 26 seconds, so adding a 250 pure damage to that feels real good.
God, Whirlwind is insane in these late game scenarios. Mickey did so much damage here.
And now he has the 25 talent on him as well, which is Whirlwind kills extend duration by 2 seconds.
Oh
so
boy, yeah.
That's even longer. Nisha will take the Sonic Wave damage over the Blink cooldown. Would have put his Blink on a 2.5 second CD, but wants the damage.
Yep, Gaimin want to try to contest this. We can see that Roche, a little bit damaged, will go back into the pit, so we have the good old-fashioned Roche shot for Roche number 3. We have a refresher now on 33. This could have huge implications on this game.
Yep.
On this fight specifically.
Easily has the mana to use it with the Octarine that he bought earlier. Liquid. Keeping their composure here. This is... the vision is everything here.
He looks at Quinn. They look at each other. Quinn gets the stun off first. Pops the BKB. Sonic Wave onto 2, though. The Doom onto Quinn. He tries to get the high ground. Whirlwind with the Overgrowth combination, just shredding these heroes on Gaimin Gladiators' side. Quinn is going to be next because he was doomed at the beginning of the fight. They're going to buy back in mass. But 33, he might be the first to fall for Liquid. He's on the other side of the trees. Tofu eventually, no! He actually lives on Doom some way, somehow. And only one member of Gaimin alive, and it's the Underlord. And this is a Roche for Liquid.
That was completely clean. They offer up the Doom, and as Dragon Knight tries to blink Dragon Tail him, he doesn't manage to chain it before they get the BKB off, and 33 gets the Doom off. DK, he's screwed in that fight. And he gets...
All right, Roche really wants to go home, but he will die here. And the refresher shard will drop. And the question is, can they just end here, Cinder? Clinks is dead for 60, Quinn for 50.
Yeah, there is no way. This isn't minimum megas. I mean, what are you going to defend with? Underlord is auras only. He has no damage, no utility to try to delay the push. Except, I mean, he's going to Crimson Guard the barracks, right? But they don't have Glyph.
Yeah, Raindrax taken out by 33, and now Mickey and company focusing on the mid lane. And this will be uncontested, of course. Mirana's up in 5 seconds.
They even have the banner here, so this wave.
Oh, yeah. That's a pretty nice placement. Now the tier 4s are next for Liquid, trying to take this game number 1 here in the upper bracket finals. Quinn up in 15 seconds. Clinks in 15. They're going to lose at least one tier 4, maybe both, with the Ancient being fully exposed. We might see a big team fight here. 33 jumps in. You can see the Whirlwind. Mickey is just shredding everybody. The Doom applied to Ace as well. He's dead. No buyback. Celery's next. And now, again, it's going to be 3 versus 5. Just 2 different heroes dead this time around for Gaimin Gladiators. Quinn jumping in with one last-ditch effort. Will pop the BKB. Sriracha doing a lot of damage to Nisha, but he's just going to shrug it off because he has that second life in the Aegis.
Oh, big damage here.
Burning Rush doing quite a bit.
Aegis
still intact. 33, not able to get the the Overgrowth onto 2. Do they have the damage to finish these heroes off? Looks like the Mirana is dead. GG is called. Liquid take game number 1. Which is exactly what we wanted to see, a close game, Cinder. I think we saw that this time around.
Yeah.